countdown begins for the island of Puerto Rico as the Hamilton cast gets ready for opening night. Lin-Manuel Miranda and the cast will begin their 23rd show tour of the island to raise money for the Flamboyant Arts Fund. The program created by Miranda is meant to help promote artists on the island.
Miranda is a descendant of Puerto Rico himself. His father grew up on the island, as well as his grandparents and extended family.
CBS News correspondent David Begnaud joins us now with more on this. So, David, this is pretty exciting stuff. Just how important is this show for the island of Puerto Rico?
Look, I mean, it's everything. As the man who actually runs the place where the musical is going to debut Friday night said to me, David, this gives us a chance to make arts the banner headline, right? For the last 16 months, I've talked with you guys on CBSN about the things that need to be improved, the things that are still struggling, the bad, so to speak, always promising that the good is equally important. This week is really largely a story about the good. Lin bringing the show, the people who will travel to see it, the people who pay a lot of money to see it, the Puerto Ricans who couldn't afford to pay a lot of money, so there were thousands of tickets offered for $10 a piece, right? The people who will spend money in the restaurants and the tourist attractions. It is a conversation changer, really, that deals with arts on the islands. That's why people are so excited about this week.
And I know you are as well, David. Obviously, I saw your Twitter feed and on Instagram, and you're just sort of letting people know that this is coming, that you're going to be there in the next couple of days. But there was a little bit of controversy around this. Can you just give our audience a little background about that?
Yes, so here's the deal. It was supposed to be held at the University of Puerto Rico. There were some students who said, hey, listen, we are going to protest budget cuts on the island. Guys, everything arguably has been cut, from education to police and fire and all kinds of stuff, right? And so and protests are kind of commonplace on the island. So at the last minute, the lead producer, Jeffrey Sellers, said, you know what? We can't guarantee the safety of the people who are coming with these protests, so we're going to move it. Caused a lot of drama, right? There were people who had bought tickets, who lost their tickets, who weren't sure they were going to have a place. They moved it to a new venue closer to Condado, Santurce, as it's known, in San Juan. That's where it will debut on Friday night. They've got the ticket thing worked out. They think there's still a few hiccups. But at the end of the day, Jeffrey Sellers, I remember him giving a comment saying, hey, listen, the whole musical Hamilton is really a celebration of protests. So we're not angry or mad at the protesters for saying they were going to have a voice and forcing us to move. We thought it was the right thing to do at the end of the day. So new venue, new place, debut is Friday night. And guess whose birthday is on Friday? Alexander Hamilton.
I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say his.
No,
David.
Hamilton.
Well, happy birthday.
No.
So listen, David. You know this is great. You know, spotlight's back on Puerto Rico. But I'm curious about how Puerto Rico is really doing. I have heard that the tourist areas have been up and running and great for a while. But what about the rest of the island?
So the rest of the island is still struggling with a lot of the basic things, right? So Anne-Marie, they're having to pay down that debt because they are bankrupt, and their leaders over the last couple of decades have left them in such dire straits. And one of the stories we're going to feature this week, you'll hear about it on CBSN, but on CBS this morning, Friday morning, is a story about police. They have lost thousands of police officers because of cuts in pay, cuts in pension, and the fact that most of them don't have benefits. I talked to a police officer last night who took every bit of sick time, holiday time, and comp time he has left through June. He is still a police officer. He moved to Orlando. He's working in an Amazon warehouse on a factory line, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. He said, I only make $2 extra an hour, but I get insurance, they pay my Social Security, and I will have benefits. And he goes, that's why it was worth it to me. Police officers are fleeing the island. And that's really one of the main. We went on social media, and I said to people, tell us what you think are some of the most important stories to talk about. And I have to tell you, the police and safety issue, people kept hitting us on almost by the hour. And my producers and I sat around and met, and we said, that is one thing we want to dig our teeth into. And so that is the story I've been working on all day yesterday, today, and we will tell a little bit later in the week.